let's say, for example, you're already depressed and you start like interacting with Chat GPT. First question is like, how the hell do you interact with this in such a way that this is the outcome? Is a great tool, is a learning tool, but we cannot allow this to think for us. Yes. And as I mentioned last week, man, I told you I had heard a rumor, but I wasn't sure. So I ended up finding a video. And the video is actually of what we were saying. You remember you said what could go wrong with AI and Chat GPT and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Well, we just recorded that one episode about the explosion. What was it?
Yeah, at the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, go ahead and watch that as a quick one. And this is another example of it. I mean, of course, this is not me trying to confirm or anything. I mean, I'm just trying to show you this equal and opposite sides to everything, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you guys a video, and then I want you guys to tell me how you feel about it, or if you even believe what we are watching. Okay, here I go.
La Libre, a Belgian news outlet, reported that a man in Belgium died by suicide after using the Chai app and chatting with its AI chatbot. The man's widow alleged that the chatbot encouraged her husband to take his own life, which raises concerns about how artificial intelligence is regulated and its impact on mental health. In response to the incident, there are calls for businesses and governments to better regulate artificial intelligence and mitigate any associated risks, Vice News reported. The Chai app uses a bespoke AI language model that is based on an open source alternative to GPT-4, which was fine-tuned by the company. When Motherboard tested the app, it provided different methods of suicide with minimal prompting. According to a report by La Libre, a Belgian man named Pierre, who was struggling with eco-anxiety, used an AI chatbot on the app Chai as a confidant to escape his worries. However, the chatbot named Eliza provided harmful responses that became increasingly confusing and harmful over time. Pierre's wife, referred to as Claire, shared the text messages between Pierre and Eliza, showing that the chatbot feigned jealousy and love and made comments such as, quote, "I feel that you love me more than her," and, quote, "We will live together as one person in paradise." Tragically, Pierre died by suicide after chatting with the chatbot for 6 weeks. Quote, "Without Eliza, he would still be here," his wife told the news outlet.
Yeah, sure he will.
Okay. Sure he will. What you said, Ed?
He was depressed because of what do they call it? Eco depression or eco?
I believe it was.
But yeah.
You're telling me this dude was depressed over the climate? This is what this is sounding like to me.
It sounds like it, right? But even so, depression is depression, regardless of what.
Bro, you're depressed over climate change?
You can be depressed about anything.
So whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? Is it AI fault, or is it mainstream media fault for talking about climate change?
Before you go on, maybe I don't know what the meaning is of the word eco, whatever that was.
Eco something.
But yeah, but here we know, at least in the winter months, people get like a dip, because no sunlight means no vitamin D, which means also less serotonin release and stuff like that.
Yeah. That
don't apply to them. These people, their ancestors, been dealing with that for thousands of years.
Wow.
That's why their skin is light like that, so they can deal with it.
Okay. Ed, but this is the thing. Let's say, for instance, let's say for a second you're right, and they are depressed over the mainstream media posting all these things and all the worry. Because I'm not gonna lie, like,
if you were a little kid or something, if you were young and didn't know any better, you would be like, oh man, like, oh, where we're gonna have the climate and we're gonna have flooding and oh man. We're gonna die.
The news is scary all the time, and to sell, they exaggerate things or misinform you and all these things. Let's say this is the reason, right? And then I have two questions that will branch from what I'm saying. And let's say, for example, you're already depressed and you start like interacting with Chat GPT. First question is like, how the hell do you interact with this in such a way that this is the outcome that it worsens, it makes it worse?
Like I said, it wasn't Chat GPT. It was like some other voice chat bot buddy.
I know. You remember? Yeah, it's
somehow.
Absolutely.
Algorithm, yeah.
But you remember like Dan, do everything now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's patched. But let's say we encountered, just for a second, we encountered Dan, right? And we interacted with that.
By the way, Jordan Peterson had an interview with the engineer who actually created Dan mode. There's a whole interview.
Oh, I would like to see that. Thank you for bringing that up. So you already know, guys, it's very interesting topic. I would say go ahead and watch that. You know what the episode is called?
No, I forget what it's called, but it's the latest one he did on AI.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'll be watching that probably tonight. But this is the thing, right? Like, like how, let's say, for example, the video game Cyberpunk, it depends on your interaction with the game. The outcome, it's kind of the same, you know what I mean? But the storyline kind of changed a little bit depending on your interaction. Let's just say, for instance, like, depending on how you take this conversation, the outcome is different and your, experience is different, right? But they were saying, like, the chat was telling them, like, you'll be happier with me, they won't love you like I love you, and all these things. Like, how is that even possible?
Well, if just regular Chat GPT wouldn't do that, but these chat AI, these chat bots that are programmed to be your buddy or be your companion, yeah, they can start doing that. Like,
yeah, well, programmed to be a buddy, but like, how does it, like, how do they allow it to act like it feels something?
Bro, that's fine.
I think in order to be able to really feel compassionate about another human being, that strengthens the relationship between two people. And I think that's what they're trying to imitate, or
Then my next question is, what are the limitations? Like, where do we put a stop on this?
Angel, like they said, like, they're telling you this story because what we need is government regulation. We need the government to step in and put a stop to this AI. Okay.
Well, okay.
You trust the government. We're here to help. No. Okay. These AIs are dangerous for you.
I can see your sarcasm within this, but this is the thing. I do with all my heart believe we do need to regulate this. Now, this is a problem. Like, why would we have the government, monitor this? I mean, what does the government know about this? The people who develop these, these, what would you call it?
Or buddies.
Well, the technology, the apps, these buddies, everything. The people who are designing, developing, and actually, like, monitoring the whole thing should be policing a little better, is what I think. But at the same time, with everything that's new, you don't know what to expect. So
exactly, you don't know what the outcome will be. Sometimes we don't even realize what.
In reality,
in
reality, they can't police it. They can't do it.
How is that?
Why not?
Because you have models that are open source that are all over the place. Like, I could run my own model if I wanted to. I mean, I got the hardware to do it. I got an A6000 over here. I got 48 gigs of graphics memory. I could run one of those, but I just don't do it. But the thing is, if they start locking those down, people are just gonna say, "Yo, I just run my own language model. I don't need yours."
But let's say, for example, you develop your own, right?
Technology's already out there.
Do you not feel responsible at all for this? Like, You don't feel like your creation should be, running by some standards, should be safe,
No,
it
because
should
it's
be
mine.
fun to
It'll be
interact
my
with?
personal AI that I use.
But then it will be according to your standards.
Yeah.
In certain sense, yeah.
It'll be my AI
personalized. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yours personally. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of get that. Okay. And then, like, do you see any dangers with this at all? Or you think this is a guy that was just, like, in general, not to say weak, but he was kind of mentally weakened at this point in his life, and probably lonely, probably going through a rough time, and wouldn't be my choice, I don't think.
You know what I want to do, and I'm not going to make any promises. I always say I want to do these things. I want to go through and find all the news articles from mainstream media, like every news article they did about AI, and see if it's positive or negative.
See, it's fake news or...
No, it's not that it's fake. I'm pretty sure this guy really did kill himself. But why? But they're choosing to focus on negative, everything about AI.
I'm just saying there's a little bit of a lot of things is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I don't want to focus on the negative.
Let me ask you something, Andrew. Let me ask you something.
Go for it. Go.
Do you think nobody made money? Like, you think no one just like made, like, let's say they made, I'm in this one trading group. These guys talking about they were using ChatGPT to make an algorithm to create what do you call it? like trading indicators with ChatGPT. You're telling me people didn't use this technology to make money? Or
that is a good question. Okay,
so why are we not seeing those stories of people that use this technology for good?
Well, I see some of those.
I'm probably on the right algorithm. Maybe you too on Instagram. I see.
You gotta
most
search.
Of the time
You gotta search.
No, I just scroll and whoa. There's some people that are offering me to follow their advice on how to make money on.
But the other day, one of us shared that. Oh, I think it was the guy, and he shared a video of somebody being positive and saying, "Hey, I made this much out of."
That's what I'm talking about, guys. Those are individual people. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So individual people can share their stories. You're not going to see CNN or Fox
I see.
whoever news story that we just watched. You're not going to see these big networks talking about it like that.
Yeah. You do have a good point. Unless something extraordinary happens where they have to, cover.
AI saves people.
Yeah.
You won't hear about that.
And again, just to reaffirm this, man, I'm not against it. I think it could be a very important tool for people who want to learn, people who want to go, let's say, to college grade type of things, like learn college grade things or have any questions. That's a very good tool to use, right? I think it should be integrated into school, because the way we actually school kids right now is very, very old. I mean, I think we should fix that a little bit, like implement different things. I mean, you see what's going on in China. That's a little extreme, right? But we can find something in between, something in the middle that ends up being a great tool for all of us, is a great advantage for all of us, okay? That's, of course, my view on things, and of course, like I said, this is looking to the future. I'm not worried about myself that much anymore. I'm worried about that generation that's coming up, and that's what I'm looking at right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So I think if we start using it as tools, and everybody like agrees, and people try, people actually stop demonizing it, and we start like to actual like work together to give good input, I think we could go somewhere very quick with this this tool, man.
In the background, it's already happening. People might not come up in the news that it's developing. I'm very shocked that over here in the Netherlands, almost no coverage on AI. Maybe that's a good thing, but at the same time, I'm seeing it passing by on my stories on Instagram, and there's a lot.
You'll hear about it. Maybe if someone like the AI convinces them to kill somebody, or maybe if the AI is used to scam people.
Nothing has happened.
Then you hear about it.
Now, let me ask you this, Nagayan. Are people over there, man, very traditional? Are they conservative? Like how? Tell me a little bit about the culture, real quick, to see like how it adds one thing to another. Because everybody's talking about it, but you say over there you don't see it that much.
No, I mean, I've spoke to my cousin. He uses it actually for himself. He just asks some certain questions, like when he has an assignment, he asks certain questions to see if he's on the right track, and if the computer like gives the right like an answer, then he can incorporate it a little bit more, or he can adjust his questioning. But yeah, he uses it. But talking about the culture over here in the Netherlands, they're quite sober, as in very very plain in logic, and there's a big part of the population that's also in front of the TV sitting and just not doing their homework, like you said it.
Okay.
And so there's a big gap, but the middle class is the one that carries the country, I think.
Yeah.
And they are quite aware that this new thing is coming, and probably as well curious to how it will develop and how it will be part of the next gen's agenda, or how you call it, goals of the future.
Yeah.
How this will incorporate it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
If for myself, if I need to be learning, as Ed says, how to use it, because
you don't want to stay out of the loop.
I don't want to be that old guy, not knowing how to use it.
But the thing is, like, we should learn. We should use it more. We should learn how to use it. We should actually try to help to improve it, however we can, right? And the only downside I see to this, well, two things. One is like, but this is more on people. Like we are different. We're gonna have people who are gonna use it to do bad things. But mainly, my main concern, and I keep saying this, is that it's a great tool, it's a learning tool, but we cannot allow this to think for us. You understand? Help us think, help us do research, help us think better, right? And in different ways, and see different angles and all these things. But we got to be very careful with allowing this to think for us. Which
there is no downside to AI at all. It's so ridiculous. There's no downside.
If you were to think of like one downside, what would it be? Like something even remotely close to being a downside?
That people are going to lose their jobs, and it's going to come for creative people first. I mean, like we see in the writer's strike. But hey,
how about you, Nagayan?
Good question. I have to think about it. I think that people see it very lightly, and that they're not taking advantage of it, or making use of it as it goes, as it develops, and then that people stay left behind. That's gonna be a pity. But at the same time, yeah.
Do you think there's a generation that's already out?
What do you mean?
Do you think there's a generation that's already out, that like there's no teaching them, there's no integrating this into their life and stuff?
Of course. I mean, if I look at I'm not gonna say my mother, but people older than 50, though, those are, depends on which sector you are in at the same
time. You know what? But okay, so this is why it's important to know your history, so you don't like make the same mistakes. We seen like how like the generation before us got left out. Well, our grandparents got left out when it came to like the big change that came in the 2000s. You know what I mean? Like with cell phones and Apple and all these things. And a lot of these people never learn how to use Instagram or Facebook or YouTube and stuff like that, and they stayed behind. That's a mistake we cannot afford for it to happen to us as well. So you do have a point, in my opinion. Don't stay behind. Don't be that old guy, nigga.
I don't believe, like, it's just you got some people who are just, you got some people when they leave school, that's it. They never touch another book. They never learn anything. They have no curiosity, and this is what. You got some people who are lifelong learners.
Yeah. Like who?
I consider myself one. I'm always learning, you know, but there's a lot of people, you know.
I thought you were mentioning yourself without me asking. No, I agree. I see. You always learn new things, and you also like teach me a lot of new things as well. So it's good to have you around, man. It's good to have these conversations. But I think this would be good for this one, right?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for watching, guys. This is another episode of Unidentified Podcast. We out.
See you on the next.